Well, good morning. So I'm getting an early start this morning. I have some breakfast going on that side of the counter, and I've got some meal prep going on this side of the counter. And I'm going to bring you along with me. I do want to ask you, however, to pray for Ohio. Last night was another late night and another round of storms that has produced multiple tornadoes just minutes away from us again. This is the second round of storms that has produced tornadoes at night that has been very aggressive in a week and a half, and they're literally minutes away from us. So again, please join us in prayer for Ohio. All right, let's get started. All right, so this recipe here, obviously you're gonna need eggs. This is the easiest recipe. You're literally gonna mix it in a bag, so there's like no cleanup. So I had an abundance of eggs. I used most of them this morning for breakfast. I have 20 left over. I'm going to put in this bag. And then I actually brought some in yesterday, and I have a few more that I need to go out and grab today. I am going to put these in this container. Now, I do not do this, and if you put them back in the container when they are broken, we cannot be friends. We cannot be friends. I just do that until I can wash them, because I actually reuse them. I take them, I wash them really good, I bake them, and then I crush them up and either feed them back to my chickens or I put them around my vegetable plants. So, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to zip this up. And just mix the eggs just like so. And it's all mixed. Now, we can add our other ingredients. Now, I did make all 20 eggs. My son usually stops by, and he likes this recipe as well. So I did go ahead and make enough for him as well. Or, you know, you can make enough and have it as a leftover to save. You can put it in a seal saver and save it for later on. A tad of salt. I need to get those little containers that you just reach in, because I never use just the dash. I always take it off. Even like when I'm at a restaurant, like I don't take the lids off. But even at the restaurant, like I pour it into my hand and then just do like that on my food. And I think that was because for the longest time I had issues with sodium, so I had to kind of watch that intake because of some things that was going on health wise. So I just started doing that, and I continue doing it. The next thing you're going to need is some milk, and then I put a little bit of heavy cream in there. Now, you can put whatever you want in here. I probably will stop on the way home and grab some green onions or regular onion. I might grab some of that and dice it up and put it in. But for now, I'm going to put some ham. You could put bacon. I'm going to put a whole package of ham. And then I'm going to put cheese. Now, if you're like me, I go through my refrigerator, and if there are different types of cheeses I need to use up in my casseroles, I just throw them in. It makes, I feel like it gives depth of flavor. Now, I do have some mozzarella and some Parmesan. They're newer, so I'm not going to use them. but I am going to use probably a quarter to a half a bag of this sharp cheddar. Maybe. Okay. Now, we're going to take the and now it's all mixed up. I'm just going to let the air out. And it's all good, and when I get home I'm going to put it in the crock pot and let it cook on low, and it will be ready for dinner. Alright, so the other things that we're going to be meal prepping for the week is cheesy chicken, broccoli and rice, steak stir fry, cube steak, chicken pot pie, noodle soup. It's one of our house favorites. The garlic parmesan chicken and barbecue pork. So with the steak stir fry, I actually have the stir fry mix, and I had already cut up and packaged the steak tips previously that I had bought on sale, so I'm not going to bother that. This is something that when I'm ready, I'll just throw it in the crock pot. It will be ready. So that meal we will count as done. So we will go ahead and move on to the next meal. Okay, so for this meal, we're gonna make some barbecue pork. I do have a pork butt here that I'm going to cut up into little chunks, and then I'm gonna marinate it. All right, so we have all of our pork cut up in probably 1.5 inch size pieces, I would guess. Now I'm going to put some sweet smoky rub on there. I'm going to put a little bit of the agave syrup on there. You know, just kind of make it more of like a sweet honey barbecue kind of taste. So we had enough meat to do 2 of the bags of barbecue pork, and I've got some sweet and smoky, some smoky paprika, and then some agave. So I'm just going to coat really well the pork with each of these. And then I'm just going to close it up, mix it up, and I'll be right back. All right, so for the cube steak recipe, you're going to need some salt and pepper. You're going to need some heavy cream. You're going to need some steak seasoning. This is a mix of my own. I put a little bit of everything in there. You're going to need some gravy, some au jus, and some brown gravy mix. Come on. So we're just literally going to open and dump. One other thing I am going to put in here is a little bit of the vegetable broth that I have left to help it freeze well. It will help it cook well, as you know, because you've already, I cook the hamburgers probably about 1/2 to 3/4 of the way, and then put them in here. That way when they're cooking, they don't dry out. I'll put a little bit of water in here. Actually, I'll just go ahead and put my heavy cream in here. That's maybe 1/4 cup. I still may put some water in there. Get all that goodness out of there. I'm going to put some of the steak seasoning. I don't know, maybe 1/8 to 1/4 of a teaspoon. Like I said, I measure with heart. Put some pepper in there and a little bit of salt. Just a little bit, because you already have the gravies that have sodium in there. You have the vegetable broth, so just a little bit of salt. Then you just mix it up. Make sure everything is mixed really well. Make sure everything is covered. And you have cube steak ready to go. All you have to do is make the mashed potatoes the day of. All right, so now we are going to work on our chicken recipes. So we have cheesy chicken, broccoli, and rice. That is a mouthful. Then we have chicken pot pie noodle soup. Now this came about because I actually made chicken pot pie, and I made too much of it, like a lot too much of it. And we actually had people over and there was still a bunch left. And I had already put some of it away thinking, well, we'll just, eat it for something else. I'll remake it, we'll eat it. Well, then I decided I had these noodles that I needed to get rid of as well. And I made it with the noodles. And then the next time I made it with a different type of noodle. And we really enjoyed it. So that is where that came about. Now it's best to have this with mashed potatoes. It is phenomenal. The other thing is garlic Parmesan chicken. So I'm gonna go ahead in our little bags and divide out our chicken, and I'll come right back and show you what we have, and we'll go ahead and start preparing these out. So in this bag right here, this is our chicken pot pie noodle soup. So we do have a bag of Reams noodles. They are the best for this soup. That will end up going into the dinner itself. I have pulled out 2 jars of canned corn. Now I know that a lot of the times, I know you're never supposed to can and leave the rings on. You often will see me with my rings on. That is because it is easier for me to hold on to, because with the Chiari I do get neuropathy very bad in my hands and feet. And believe me, you will know if there is a bad corn or something like that. You will know. So again, you do you. For me, this works out. I always smell it. I always taste it myself before I use it for my family. So yeah, inside here I have the chicken that I've cut up. It is chicken breast and chicken thighs. I have some red skin potatoes that have been washed and diced. I left the skins on. I like them that way. Again, if you don't dice them, throw them in there. Some people like to add the potatoes the day of. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother my family. We just do it this way. I've got a large can of cream of chicken soup. I have some canned peas. So I have never had a great turnout. I'm going to try again this year with peas. I can remember snapping green beans and peas as well. As a kid, I cannot get them to do well. They start to grow and do great, and it seems like it always hits that drought season and then they just die off. I also have 2 jars of green beans that I've canned here. I just went ahead and put some little carrots in there. I'm the only one that likes them. I left them whole. I also put a generous amount of minced garlic. We're gonna put a little bit of salt, a little pepper, a little bit of cayenne pepper, a little chicken blend. Again, spices that I use, sometimes I just get what's on sale. I like Mrs. Wage's chicken blend when I can find it, and it's a good price. And then I've got some celery salt here. I'm going to put some heavy cream, probably between 1/4 and 1/2 cup there. Now I can my corn and my green beans in water with just a little bit of salt and pepper, just enough to preserve it. So I'm going to pour 1 jar in here like so. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drain and rinse my sweet peas. And then I'm going to open my cream of chicken and I'm going to put it in here. So I have added in here the can of peas and 1/2 of the can of the cream of chicken soup. I'm trying to make sure that there's enough head space in here. I like to be able to cut right here down the side once it freezes, and that way I can just dump and go. That is what makes these meals so nice, because you do all the prep work ahead of time, then you just dump and go. I do have half a can of this left. I do have 1 jar of corn and 1 jar of green beans, as well as the Reams noodles. I'm gonna add that in another bag. I'm gonna put 1 of 2 and 2 of 2, and that meal will be done. All right, so our next meal is cheesy chicken, broccoli, and rice. Usually I use white rice. Today we are going to use this chicken, broccoli, and rice. Here, usually I don't use this. However, I have a bunch of these. Don't go to the store hungry. You buy things you don't necessarily need, because it looks good. You think, chicken and broccoli sounds amazing, which it does. So we're gonna put it in here. So anyway, you need chicken and broccoli. You're gonna need a can of cream of chicken soup. At least 1 bag of broccoli. I think I'm gonna put 2 today. You need an entire block of cream cheese and probably a 1/4 block of sharp cheddar. And then I'm probably gonna put some shredded in there too. That's what I usually do. I've got some veggie broth and Miracle Whip, and you know, let's go ahead and put some garlic in there too. Everything's good with garlic, right? Right. All right, so let's do that. Let's add this in without spilling it. Yay. We're gonna add in our broccoli. I think we can get 2 in there, maybe. Let's go ahead and add some cheese. A tiny bit of salt, pepper. Add this packet in. That's a big packet. Now this packet says that it cooks in 7 minutes if you're going to make it originally by itself. And it says it makes 5 servings per. So yeah. And they had them on sale at the store last year around, thinking it was Thanksgiving time. And these are the family size packets, you know. So they were actually on sale for like $1.29 or $1.19, and these are usually like $2.39. So that's why I bought some, because I thought, you know, things are a little crazy, and you can put anything with rice. Okay, I am going to add in whatever it says here. All right, so I'm gonna add probably this whole thing, just because I want enough liquid when it freezes and enough liquid when it cooks that it's juicy and cheesy and creamy and not dry. Not dry. The last thing is Miracle Whip. Yes, there is a difference. Miracle Whip versus mayonnaise has that tang that everyone loves. I'm one of those people that could tell you the difference if you tried to fool me. All right, now we are going to mix this up. And then this would just need cooked on high for about 4 to 6 hours, on low for about 6 to 8 hours. Now obviously anytime that you cook chicken, the slower that you cook it, and the smaller, I find the smaller that I cook it, the less likely my chicken breast is to dry out. Okay, so I went ahead and mixed it up. It actually looks like broccoli soup right now, which makes me want broccoli soup, so I may have that in the next week. I thought about adding in some heavy cream to help it as it cooks, because I don't want broccoli soup in this recipe anyway. I want it to be nice and creamy and cheesy, and so I added in some heavy cream. And I'll show you in just a second what we have here. Now obviously, because there's so much liquid, be very careful closing it up. And that is what it looks like. All right, so that's another meal down. We have one more to go, and then I will spread them out and show you what we have. So we have reached our very last meal of the day, and it is the chicken parm, garlic chicken parm. So we are going to, it's very easy. You're going to take an entire thing of cream cheese and just put it in there. It's probably the easiest meal of the day. You need an entire bottle of the Buffalo Wild Wings Parmesan garlic sauce. You're gonna put the entire bottle in. Okay, so I will put a little bit of water in here, switch this around, get all this out of here. And then you're going to add some Parmesan cheese. I'm just gonna add the whole bag today. You want at least half a bag in there. Let it cook up and be delicious. I'm also gonna add some sour cream. I really feel like sour cream not only makes things really creamy, adds depth of flavor, but it also, for me, helps my chicken not to dry out when I'm cooking. So I am gonna grab some sour cream. I'm gonna put it on here, I'm going to mix it up, and then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna show you all of our meals that we prepared today. All right guys, so we did it. We made it through another 8 meals this time. We got the bonus meal in there. So we ended up with 2 of the barbecue pork. We can use that at racing, we could use it for a get together, you know, for Bible study or whatever it may be, but we can do that. And then we can use the other one for just regular dinner. We ended up with our meal for tonight, which is the egg casserole. I'm just gonna throw it in, let it cook, go enjoy my evening. And then we ended up with cube steak. We ended up with steak stir fry, garlic parmesan, chicken, cheesy chicken, broccoli and rice, and then chicken pot pie noodle soup. Now I will tell you that if you do put liquids in with your noodles, you need to make sure you get them to the freezer and get it frozen as soon as possible. That way when you do get it out and it starts cooking, it won't be all mushy. You don't want your noodles all mushy. So yeah, I think we did great. Thank you for being patient with me today. And until then, if you have questions or suggestions, leave them below. We'll get back to you. And yeah, until then, I'm Ashley, and I'm out.